The question on everyone's mind, is this HD Master Collection really worth $60? Well, hopefully my ramblings can help you reach your decision. I'm going to start with an immediate disclaimer. I'm a huge Metal Gear Solid fanboy, but if anything, I found that I was actually more hypercritical of this review because of it. Konami's unveiling of the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1 has set the stage for a nostalgic journey and a comprehensive gaming experience. Priced at $60, it offers an interesting proposition for both dedicated fans and those new to the world of Solid Snake. The collection provides a treasure trove of gaming history, featuring classics, bonus content, and a wealth of immersive details. The heart of this collection lies in its inclusion of multiple iconic titles with a focus on authenticity. For purists, it's refreshing to see that Konami has retained the integrity of these classic games. There's minimal alteration to the original PS1 versions, and this decision is both a tribute to the game's heritage and a unique opportunity for new players to experience them as intended. While some may have anticipated modernized versions, the true charm lies in the faithful recreation of these titles, including the lower resolution and the dated 90s style control layouts. Let's get started with the OG Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 that were both released on the MSX home computer. Yes, I did have to Google what the hell they were before recording this video, but both of these games do exactly what they say on the tin. It's a great nostalgia hit to fire these bad boys up, but personally I had no interest in these games other than as a backstory to the main Metal Gear Solid series that preceded it. There were some fun moments had when playing these games, but as you can see from my awful gameplay, the controls really do feel outdated and clunky, which is exactly as to be expected from games as old as they are. But admit it, that's not what you're here for. You're here for the meat and bones that is the Metal Gear Solid series, and this collection definitely doesn't disappoint. Metal Gear Solid was my first entry into the franchise as a young whippersnapper. I can still remember to this day it was the first ever game I played on a demo disc from a PlayStation magazine. Yes, I am that old, and it is probably one of my favorite all-time games. The core gameplay, often referred to as stealth espionage action, has proven to be timeless. It remains as engaging and captivating as ever, serving as a testament to the genius of Hideo Kojima, the series creator. The enduring magic of the series, captured in moments like Snake's dramatic ascent from the water or his iconic disrobing sequence, has lost none of its allure. However, one notable aspect is the adherence to the 4:3 aspect ratio, complete with sidebars, rather than a widescreen, which may seem a tad out of place for modern day gamers. I've got to be honest here, I do have to mention the controls though, as they really do feel outdated. Especially locked at 30 FPS with clunky controls, I can see how newcomers can quickly become disengaged with the game, as even an MGS fanboy such as myself had to endure what I felt like a grind, but I promise you, it's worth it. Keep in mind as well, during the development stage of MGS1, Hideo Kojima was extremely outspoken about the limitations of the consoles at the time, and each game he developed was specifically developed with that console in mind. I mean, who can forget Psycho Mantis reading your memory card? So porting games such as these are obviously going to come with teething problems. Quick bonus semi-spoiler in relation to the Psycho Mantis battle, and I'm telling you this now so you don't miss out on it like I did on my first playthrough, but a pretty cool Easter egg is the ability to make fake save data from a range of Konami titles via a virtual memory card. This is hidden in the manage save data menu and is absolutely worth doing before you start the game. But it does seem like they've tried to counter many of these teething problems. For example, the infamous puzzle of finding Meryl's codec number required you to look on the back of the physical PS1 disc case, which obviously you can't do in this instance. Now I won't ruin it for you, but there is a solution, and you may need to think more outside of the box and more internally into the digital aspects of the MGS Master Collection. And an element that I completely forgot about that I absolutely loved revisiting, the VR missions. Such an underrated part of the original Metal Gear Solid game, and they are just as fun and silly as I remember. I mean, take a look at this.
Don't get careless.
Having these all packaged into one is definitely convenient and is absolutely worth your time playing, even just for the nostalgia. One thing that I did find really inconvenient though is the way that they are packaged digitally. Nothing seems cohesive, and for the PS5 version I used at least, each game was its own individual app, so it wasn't a seamless transition if you wanted to switch between games. You would have to dashboard, quit the app, load into the next one, and be met with the same generic screens to finally boot a game. And also, it just kind of looks messy on the PS5 home with 5 separate apps. A small issue, but an issue nonetheless. One cool feature feature that is included to try and combat the aspect ratio is a wide choice of wallpapers to fit that space instead of just the black bars, which does show the level of care put into this collection. If you're new to the MGS franchise and this is your first time experiencing these gems, just make sure to mentally prepare yourself for the cutscenes. Playing a Metal Gear Solid game at times is more like an interactive movie, with 20-minute cutscenes frequenting the game, so something to consider if you like the faster pace of some titles. Another huge W is for the first time ever, you actually get a trophy list for the Master Collection, meaning you have the opportunity to platinum Metal Gear Solid for the first time ever. A small but extremely thoughtful tweak that I'm sure trophy hunters will love. Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty really shines in this collection, and quite frankly, more than holds up to expectations of playing it on the current gen. Most of my gripes about the clunky controls from MGS1 are gone, and it really allows you to get truly lost in Hideo's storytelling without fighting against an outdated control system. I loaded into the tanker section of MGS2, and I was honestly taken aback by how well the graphics hold up. The rain hammering down on the tanker, the cinematic pan to Solid Snake in the intro cutscene, it brought back so much nostalgia, and in a weird way, a sense of pride that one of my favorite games is going to be experienced by so many others. The storytelling of MGS2 is criminally underrated at times, and playing it in 2023 is actually quite scary considering how close to predicting the future the games actually were, especially considering the recent boom of AI use. Like, seriously, when you play through MGS2, just keep in mind this was released in the mid to late 2000s, and the resemblances of the future from the story are quite frankly terrifying. Now, the kind of main event of the whole collection, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, with its intricate mechanics, stands as a particular highlight within the collection. It offers hours of nostalgia and gaming delight. It boasts camouflage, animal hunting, and survival elements, providing an experience that feels just as fresh and modern as it did upon its original release. This title is absolutely going to be the focal point of many players' revisits, and just to keep the Easter egg train rolling, when loading the game up, I won't spoil it for you, but you have a very important decision at the beginning of the game that's a really cool hidden touch from the devs. Just make sure you think about this one and choose who your favorite character was from the franchise as a whole. Getting into the nitty-gritty, from a technical perspective, the Nintendo Switch version of the collection runs at 1080p 30fps when docked, and 720p 30fps in handheld mode. Meanwhile, the PS4, PS4 Pro, PS5 and Xbox Series S and X elevate the experience, delivering a smoother performance at 1080p 60fps. One thing that I think is quite important and I really must point out though, is during all my playthrough of the games, not once did I come across any glitches or issues with gameplay, which considering how frequent those issues are today, credit is definitely due for such a clean port. The Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1 is more than just games, it's a comprehensive gaming archive. It includes the original Metal Gear games, Snake's Revenge, the NES version of Metal Gear, and much more. The collection is further enriched with additional content such as screenplays for the core titles and a master book. The latter is a treasure trove of art, images, and detailed information, enhancing the collector's experience. For fans of the franchise, there are digital graphic novels originally released on PSP, offering a deeper dive into the rich lore. Honestly, I can't emphasize this point enough. If you're an MGS fan, please check out the master books. There's so many Easter eggs and bonus lore to further expand the MGS story. I won't discuss any here to avoid spoilers, but it's absolutely worth your time. Maybe I took this one a little too personally, but I kind of felt like this shortchanged the impact Hideo Kojima had on the franchise in the master book. Listen, I understand there was a messy breakup between Kojima and Konami, but the impact he had on Metal Gear cannot be denied, and upon discussing points of development, they did really gloss over the fact he essentially created a whole new genre of gaming at that time. I feel like this could have been a perfect opportunity to rebuild those bridges and potentially rekindle a professional relationship and honor the man, but it just fell short. The decision to maintain the original visuals and controls while augmenting the collection with bonus features and behind the scenes content showcases a dedication to preserving the legacy of Metal Gear Solid. While some, myself included, may have anticipated more substantial visual enhancements, one cool thing is this collection embraces the classic's nostalgic appeal and offers the perfect entry point for newcomers. While I was browsing, I saw a tweet that I can no longer find, so apologies for the lack of credit, but it summed up this collection perfectly, in that the MGS Master Collection acts much more like a digital museum rather than a remastered product, which I think is a perfect way to describe it. I don't know logistically how possible it is, but one thing I think would have really added to the collection would have been the addition of the Nintendo GameCube's Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. Even if it was just included in the Nintendo Switch collection, it would have been an absolute gem. Yes, I fully understand Twin Snakes is much like Marmite, you either love it or hate it due to how silly the game truly is at times, but bringing the classic MGS story into the future with modern day gameplay mechanics would have really excelled on the modern consoles. Maybe this is something that can be included in the Volume 2 collection, which speaking of, that's the collection I'm truly hyped for. The potential of MGS4 and Metal Gear Rising Revengeance all in one package, potentially with Twin Snakes included, I'm in.
Kept you waiting, huh?
It's evident that this collection is just the beginning of what Konami has in store for the Metal Gear Solid franchise. The groundwork has been laid for a potentially more captivating Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2 in the future, leaving fans with much to look forward to. In summary, the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1 is not just a compilation of games. It's a captivating journey through the history of a legendary series. Whether you're reliving the classics or embarking on your first Metal Gear adventure, this collection is a treasure trove of gaming excellence. But in the meantime, while you're here and waiting for Volume 2, why not go check out our review of the newly released Spider-Man 2?